guys, this is the second part on our web services configurations. On this video, I'm going to be talking about our email server that I use. It's easier for me to use. It has a real easy GUI interface. It interacts very well with my antivirus. It also interacts very good with our PHP web portals, so I can remotely check on it. So in all, I think it's a good application and it works. So with that said, I think we're going to talk about the hMailServer. We're going to go through the installation. We're going to configure, and then we're going to set up some email accounts that I need to continue beyond this setup. These email accounts I'm going to be using so I can apply for domain services. Also apply not domain, but DNS dynamic services. And getting secure certificates assigned to that, and also to be able to send out email outside of my services, even though I'm behind a dynamic IP address. So with that, I'm going to go back to my demo. I have Windows 10 Pro clone running in the virtual box, and what I'm going to do is I had already downloaded, but you can download it just the same by typing hMailServer on the search. And what you can see here is once you go in here, you can download the server. Once you download it, there might be some prerequisites to be able to run this. If I run into those issues where I need to download additional software to support it, then I'll go ahead and do it. But for now, like I mentioned earlier, I already downloaded it, so we don't have to wait on that. What we're going to do is we're going to go to my root here, downloads, and I have the latest bundle here. And this application is packaged with its own MySQL database server, using its own ports and all its configurations set up specifically for it to run on its own as a standalone application. You can read it at your own, read the license agreement. I think I read it so many times that I'm just going to hit next. Hit next and hit next. Everything looks good. And this one has its own Microsoft SQL compact, which is fine for this purpose. Yeah, it's fine. You can use an external engine, MS SQL, MySQL, which we have MariaDB, but that is fine. And you can use the default. Yeah, fine with me. And then the installation, we will now create a user account with administrative rights. Please enter a password. So we're going to use the top secret password. Super secure password. And this asks me that I need to download some dependencies, blah 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 blah, blah, and install. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and bring you guys back once the installation is complete, and then continue with the install from there. Alright, back here, finished the installation. There were some dependencies that had to be installed, so it took longer than expected, but we are done. So when I did finish, it's going to run as the administrator. I'm going to hit connect. It's going to ask me for the super duper strong password. And here it is. So and we're running. So the next thing that we want to do is it has something here saying get started. So we're going to add a domain, and in here we're going to type in a virtual .serve http.com, and we're going to hit save. When I hit save, the domain list for this particular server that's going to have the emails, I'm going to put them here, and I'm going to add an account here, which will be webmaster with my top secret password. Everything's enabled. The user, unlimited. Yes. So a couple of features here. So this webmaster at my virtual.serve http.com is the email address that I provided for Apache. So when people get an error trying to access something in Apache or with my website, they'll get that email address. They click on it and they'll send me an email saying, hey, I'm looking for such and such web page. I couldn't find it, or I'm getting this error. That email will be sent here. If I wanted to have some kind of auto reply, goes there. And then you have some other options here. So a couple of things that you might want to consider here is the antivirus. The antivirus that I have is Avast here. Avast. So what you may want to do is make sure that you reference where Avasta's email address, application is for this. If I'm not mistaken, it's part of here. Avast software, Avast, and let's see here. Am I missing it? I'm gonna have to check, but I believe it's there is a command line version, but I need to find out. But I use Avast, and I want to make sure that it uses this. I'm not 100% sure which one it is. I'm gonna have to go look back at my other setup. How to run the command line here. There's other versions, others applications if you have them, but this virus would check all emails that come in that have attachments. It'll scan the viruses, and even it'll scan it on the way out. We have some kind of SpamAssassin software to prevent spam from reaching your email accounts. And the other things that I want to mention is these SNMTPs, POPs, and IMAPs protocols, where to set up the ports. When we do SNMP to set up email addresses and set up that stuff, it's going to come out as an SNMP relay here, where we're going to be using external services so we can send out emails using our email server here. A couple of things that we want to consider is maybe not at this level, maybe at the internet router level, specify some ports that will map out to some of these ports here for SNMT and POP services or IMAP services, so you can reach your email account from your mobile phone. And we'll be talking about how to set up all that at another video. Some SSL and TLS, if you want to have that. Disable some of these guys here. Let's see. And some additional accounts. If you're hosting a web page, you don't necessarily want information going to your webmaster's accounts. You want to give the impression that people can reach for more information. Set out an info, and you set up a that account. So it'll do info at that website. And that's it. And as far as right now as this is concerned, we are going to do a resume. Right now the state is running. Okay, so that's giving me an error saying that when I go over here, delivery of emails, it'll be my virtual.serve.http.com. Hit save. So that message should go away. So the next thing, you can start logging. Look at your queues here to see how many emails are coming and going, but preferably logging. Your email server is up and running. The only other thing that you may want to consider doing is checking your firewall settings on Windows. Let's take a heck of that. No, it's not what I wanted. We'll go to advanced settings here. Yeah, this is it right here. So this is my firewall settings within Windows. And this is the inbound traffic coming from the network adapter. And then if I sort this out, well, let's start by the actual application, right, which was hMail. So I don't see it here. As you can see, it's not here. So the next thing is to see if the ports are open, which it's like 25, 110, some other stuff like that. So as you can see, the ports don't appear to be open. So in my case here, all I want to do is create a new rule. Define the ports. And I do 25, 110. Remember, this is an internal network. The ports that I will open up in the on the internet might be similar. Allow the connections, domain publics, and then I'm going to put in here hMailServer email and hit finish. So it's right here. So the ports are open. I should be able to receive email if somebody was to send me some email. So with that, that's pretty much it. There is some more options here, but for this purpose it's just basic install, do some configurations, and then the email accounts that we were going to review. But most definitely, if you want to have another video, just let me know on my blog. If you want to have more discussions in each of these, we will have one more video on this, and that's pretty much how to set up an email account services or SNMP server, relay server services type, where we can send out email to other accounts. For example, because we have a dynamic IP address, we won't be able to send email out to maybe Google, Hotmail, or Yahoo, because they had blocked the IP address. So we want to use a relay to send our emails out. So if somebody comes in and you're soliciting subscribers, as they subscribe with these other domain names, you'll be able to send email to them as needed. Otherwise, you probably can include them here as an account here for them, but you still will need to be able to communicate to them somehow. But anyways, this is how you set up your mail server using hMailServer. Maybe in another video I'll show you how to use the PHP interface, similar to what you see here. It's a PHP where you can have access to the website. In addition to that, I'll also be discussing webmail and how to access this server using webmail as well. So everything will be accessible using a browser. So with that, any questions, concerns, any other suggestions, please feel to reach me in the blog. I really don't have any discussions in the chats within YouTube platform other than uploading the video, but I will be answering them in the blog. Ask the questions there, and I'll address any concerns or questions there for this particular video. Thank you so much. I'll be working on the next one, which will be Wingate Proxy, and see you guys there.